Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Spencer Boyd. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about space management and what it looks like to manage your space well. How can you take the most advantage out of the space that you have? We're in a subdivision, so we don't have a lot of space. Our backyard is pretty limited. Our front yard is almost unusable just because of our location. And so we're going to be looking at our garage today. We're going to be looking at room design, what you can do to maximize your space and your room design, and how to be intentional with that. And we're going to be looking at managing a backyard, what it's going to look like to take a space that may be overgrown and unused and to repurpose it for something that you can actually do something with. Jumping right in, we're going to go through our garage. We're going to get some shelves and put them in there, and we're going to organize some boxes. And so what that will do, it's going to open up our garage so that we can use that space for vehicles or for other storage and to be able to maximize our space. Moving into our living room, you'll notice that our couches are across from each other. And the reason that we do that is so that we can have an open space for conversation, specifically for hosting game nights. At our house, we host game nights twice a month, and we like to be able to use our living room for a game. Not a TV game, not a video game, but a group activity, a group game. We want to be able to use our space for that. Additionally, we have a TV stand, and it's not really a TV stand. It's more of an end table thing, but we put our TV on there whenever we want to watch a movie, which isn't super often, but it's often enough that we need a place to put it. Moving on to the backyard, we're going to do a separate video explaining more in depth of what's going on back there, what our plans are for the future. But we just want to focus on this backyard is really where you're going to be spending a lot of your time when you're homesteading. So you want to make sure that that space is not just usable, but pretty. You want it to look nice. So when we moved in, our backyard was a third forest, a third pond, and a third yard. And so it really wasn't usable. You could go out there, but when it rained, a pond formed in our backyard. And then it's so sloped that you hardly want to spend any time out there anyways. And so we're thinking of ways to fix that, but we haven't quite come up with a solution. But the main thing that we've done is we've taken out all of that overgrowth. We've cut back the forest so that now we can actually walk back there. We can actually use that space to some degree. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it look pretty eventually. So we've been raking up some of these pine needles and leaves and piling them onto piles. Eventually, we want to set up a compost back there, and so that we've already started that pile back there. And we're going to use that dirt, that compost dirt of just yard scraps, and we're going to spread it out over the yard. And what that's going to do is it's going to hopefully revitalize the soil so that some grass can grow. We might put some seed back there. We might not. It just depends on what our budget looks like in a couple months. We can't plant seed just yet because it's not springtime. It's not time for it to grow. It's fall. So we're doing a lot of our yard work now. Well, it's kind of ugly. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty in the fall in Georgia. But when winter time comes around and the leaves are falling off the trees, it's a little ugly. And so we don't really look outside. We kind of stay inside and sit next to the fire and enjoy the cozy space. But we want it to eventually look nice. So we're putting all those leaves and pine needles onto a pile, and we're going to use that space. We're going to plant some seed in the spring if we can afford it. Now in the future, we're going to do a couple things out there, but we'll get to that in a separate video. The main thing that I want to focus on is, how are you using your space? Are you being intentional about how you're designing your rooms? It can seem like such a small thing, but it's actually a huge thing in your house. When you walk into somebody else's house and you see the way that their living room is designed, it's telling you something about that person. If their focus is on the TV, that tells you where they spend most of their time. They're in their living room because they're watching TV or they're playing video games. You want your rooms to be focused on what their purpose is. How you design your rooms will affect how you live. God is order. God is beauty. And so the more that you make your house like beauty, like order, the closer it is to being godly. And so that's what we're aiming to do here, is what we're aiming to make our house more godly. And we believe that that is something that we can do. And that is why we spend so much time thinking about the layout of our house, the layout of each room, and how it can be more in order and more useful and more community building. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you. We'll see you in the next one.